Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, Jason.
Thank you for having me.
Um, so there's this bill about the matters, the bee industry that has been tabled to Parliament, and I just wanted to hear your thoughts. But before we go there, probably you can tell us who you are and where your farm is and what exactly you do in your farm.
Okay, my name is Jason Bruno, and I am what you call an apiarist or beekeeper, bee farmer. I am in Nyandarua County. In terms of training, I trained at the National Beekeeping Institute, and I've also done a few other courses in terms of beekeeping.
Okay, so what has been, say, your capacity per harvest, say, depending on the time you harvest, what's the average harvest of maybe the honey or the other products that you get from the apiary?
So for me, my personal apiary is not that old, but what I've also been doing is I've also been doing a lot of, I've been focusing mainly on teaching people about beekeeping, trying to get the word out there about beekeeping, about the importance of bees and how important they are. As you know, globally, there's a huge problem in terms of bees. We are losing bees at a very alarming rate. And even as you can see, worldwide, we have celebrities such as Angelina Jolie, who have joined in this campaign to sensitize people on the importance of bees. And also someone like Morgan Freeman has turned a whole 124-acre farm in the US into an apiary. So for me, I'm not really focusing right now on the commercial aspect of beekeeping. It's more of the sensitization of the importance of keeping bees. They are very important pollinators. And as you know, or you may not know, that 1 in every 3 spoons of food that you eat is a direct responsibility of the bees. We have the bees to be thankful for that. So for 1 in every 3 spoons of food that you eat is directly a gift from the bees.
Thank you so much for that introduction. So from where you sit, what are your thoughts about this particular bill and how it's going to affect the bee industry in Kenya going forward?
I have seen the bill. I have had a chance to peruse and read it. My thoughts are, I think we are prematurely trying to cut something off at the feet even before it has grown. I'm of the opinion that the first thing that should happen is capacity building. In Kenya right now, we are producing only 15% of honey of our demand. Beekeeping is something that we should be training young people. It's not a very difficult farming, it's not a difficult farming to do. Young people can do it. It's been with us for ages in terms of tradition. So when a bill comes and says that, you know, that you have to register even a beehive with your local county, what happens to people like the Ogiek who have been traditionally keeping bees? And honey and bees has been part of our culture for ages and ages and ages. Does that mean now we have to also now brand all traditional log hives that are available? You know, we should be preaching the importance of bees. We should already, I know we import a lot of honey from our neighbors, Tanzania, who are still at 60% of capacity. We are only at 15%, and already we are trying to introduce fees for farmers. As we know, farmers are people who are struggling in this country. They are struggling already. So rather than trying to find ways to charge them more, we should be looking for ways to build capacity to encourage them. The government should actually be distributing beehives for free, should be having training sessions for young people for free, not just because of the financial aspect in terms of honey and all that, but also because of the environmental benefits. We have deforested our country to alarming levels. And naturally, as a beekeeper, one of the things that you're taught, and one thing you will know about beekeepers is, as a beekeeper, you are already, automatically you're a conservationist, because a beekeeper is someone who will always continually plant trees so that the bees have enough to forage. But now, when we try and introduce regulation that is trying to, add charges and all that, I think that is losing direction, in my personal opinion, if you ask me. We should be encouraging young people to keep planting trees. Beekeeping is something that can be done even on small pieces of land. People who cannot be able to afford, big tracts of land. It's a way that can be used to elevate poverty and get farmers out of poverty. Teach them how to keep bees so that they can pollinate their crops, and then also that will consequently increase food production in this country. We should be seeing the benefits of the bees and encouraging people to keep bees. We have lived with them for so long. Granted, we know that bees can be dangerous, but if people are trained and we build that capacity, we can live with them and live comfortably with them. Bees are everywhere. They're everywhere, and we need to protect the bees. We really need to, because they're important for our food security. Already, as you know, in this country, sometimes we are struggling to even feed our own people. Why would we want to introduce laws and regulations that now come and curtail that instead of building that capacity? I think, my personal opinion, the focus should be build the capacity. Then you will have people producing honey in large quantities. Then you can charge, but not something, we are literally throwing the water with the child, throwing away the bucket with the water and the child away. It's, I think we should be finding ways to encourage people to get into beekeeping, not doing the opposite.
Yes. Thank you so much for those inputs. And what is your call to young people, especially? I know Nyandarua is heavily forested along the Amadeus. I once lived there on the
Oh, okay.
near Kwari, Mutamayo,
Oh, okay.
Mutarako, those areas. We shall catch up later. So, but so, what is your call to the young people? And
my call to young people is to take environmental matters seriously. To take, beekeeping is something that can be used, as we say, to kill one bird. What do they say? Two birds with one stone. We can sort out environmental issues and elevate poverty using something as simple as beekeeping. Teach kids the value of planting trees, as Wangari Maathai always told us. Teach kids the value of bees. Then they will grow it into something that is enterprising. And they can also now make money for, not just for themselves, not just for their families, but also for the country as a whole. We must think about future generations. We must think about, those people who are coming after us. We must encourage people to take care of bees. We must encourage and make it easier for people to take care of bees. Encourage people to move from urban cities back home to practice something as simple as beekeeping, because beekeeping is not it's not a difficult thing to do. You just need to check your hives like once a month. Compared to other forms of agriculture, it's an easier and more, it's an enjoyable thing to do. And you'll find people are planting trees. You see, for example, if you plant trees on your 2 acres and your neighbor plants theirs on their 1 acre, then eventually that has a huge effect on the country as a whole. We should be encouraged, go globally. In other countries, I know countries are literally begging their people to take care of bees, literally trying to work with beekeepers to see how can they improve and create capacity. In the US, if you've seen a couple of documentaries, bees are dying at an alarming rate, and they are our main pollinators. We should be finding ways to encourage people to keep bees, and also train young people. It should be part of the curriculum in schools. It should be part of the curriculum in university. It should be part of the curriculum in tertiary colleges. They should be introducing programs for people to learn about beekeeping. That's the direction we should be taking. So I encourage as many young people as possible to consider beekeeping as a viable source of income, but it's what we call a symbiotic relationship. You take care of the bees. I always tell people I talk to, if you take care of the bees, then consequently they take care of you. And that's what we should be doing as a country, finding a way to take care of our bees so that consequently they also take care of us, that we create employment for young people.
So in your creating awareness,
Yes.
who do you work with, and what has the impact been since you started creating awareness about bees as an apiarist, and what has been the response of the people that you've been engaging?
People are actually very fascinated. You know, there's a lot of perceptions that I could say are wrong. Some people, you know, always think of bees and they want to just spray insecticide on them. The response so far has been very good. I have worked with some farmers who are growing like fruit trees, and when they introduce a couple of beehives on their farm, you can see the results are tangible. In other countries, you may not know this, but in other countries, people actually pay a lot of money. Even in this country, there's some farms that have to pay literally for pollination services, you know, where they pay beekeepers to take beehives to their farms so that they can be able to pollinate their fruit trees and their crops. Why would we want to discourage people from getting into that kind of business? You know, the possibilities are endless. And I think we should think more long-term rather than short-term. So yes, to answer your question, the response has been very encouraging. You find farmers who had possibly given up, and now they're very excited and encouraged and wanting to get into beekeeping. When I was training at the Beekeeping Institute, I was very encouraged to find that majority of my classmates, a lot of them were ladies, you know, so and even young people, very young people are coming to learn. There was even one of the students who is a mother had come with her son so that they can learn how to you know, improve things on their farm. It's important that we look at it from an environmental perspective. What is the environmental impact of this bill? We should be encouraging people, as I say, not discouraging people from beekeeping, because, you know, and we can do this simply through training, creating awareness, because we must think about what the bees are doing for us. And in turn, we return the favor and take care of them.
Thank you so much, Jason, for your inputs. Indeed, we can feel the passion that you have for the bees, and I know the campaign for people to adopt that will continue, as well as do the conservation aspect that you have been preaching so continuously. And thank you so much for those inputs. As you have said, they are very important because they create employment. We have food, like our crops are pollinated and all that. So we're just going to use that, then get a story from there, and then I know I'll share with you the link. So
thank you. You must also talk about, you know, people like the Ogiek, who traditionally are beekeepers, people like the Kamba. You know, when the bill says you have to brand beehives, are we going to brand even traditional beehives? You know, even the old Umze who works in the community, taking care of people's, we must think of the country as a whole. We must think of what impact we are having. But also, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for everything.
all right, thank you very much.
Thank you.